Hello everyone. Before we start, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with where you're from and what time you're watching. That way YouTube will keep showing you stories just like this one. Now let's begin. Cracked neon buzzes like trapped hornets when you roll up to a half-lit motel after midnight. But nothing curdles the stomach faster than a front desk receipt showing room 217 long-distance charge. 3:00 a.m. placed while vacant for 10 years. I'm Devin, night shift, Cole, Tennessee, road tech hauling stage lights to Austin. April 9th, 2025. My alternator died off I-40 near Shamrock, Texas, so I limped into the shuttered Route 66 Sundowner Motel rust-pink stucco cactus garden fossilized to dust because the glowing vacancy arrow felt like mercy in the panhandle dark. Desk bell rang itself as I crossed the lobby. Old music fizzled from ceiling speakers, though breakers were off. The clerk's booth sat empty except a ledger open to 1978. I needed sleep and a socket wrench, so I grabbed key 217. Hallway AC smelled of ozone wallpaper peeled in vertical strips like stage curtains about to rise. At 2:47 a.m., static tickled the rotary phone, no dial tone, yet the second hand of my watch froze, and a child's voice whispered, "Mama, it's hot in the walls." I slammed the receiver. Shower taps coughed rust, then blood-warm water ran clear. 3 minutes later, the phone rang again. The same voice cried, "He's burning us," followed by distant crackle of flames. Sweat iced my spine. Motel legend I Googled earlier said a 1978 boiler blast killed a family in 217. Mother believed to have phoned the desk begging maintenance before the tank ruptured. Clutching my mag light, I traced the call wire down the corridor. Every door I passed thumped in sequence like heartbeat drums until conduit disappeared into a bricked-up laundry chute still reeking of scorched linens. Maglite beam caught a blackened handset dangling inside cord braided from melted bootlaces. As I touched it, breaker box at hall's end popped, lights flaring surgery white. Flames erupted inside the chute without heat, forming the silhouette of a man in overalls, face of furnace-grade eyes, 2 red pilot lights. He roared, "Still off duty, ain't ya?" and hurled a wave of blistering static. Fire alarms howled, though sprinklers coughed dust. I sprinted for the exit. Fireless flames licking my heels reached the lobby to find the ledger pages riffling, pen scratching my name under April 9th next to a fresh 3:00 a.m. toll call entry. Bursting outside, I saw my box truck lights flick on, alternator magically humming. Outcome engine purred as if factory new, but motel windows glowed orange, then winked, dark neon sign extinguishing mid-buzz. Twist at sunrise, my service receipt from the garage showed a charge I didn't dial. Long distance area code 660003 min time 0300, and soldered to the truck's dash was the charred handset placard stamped Sundowner Maintenance XT. 217. Story 2. The green glow at Motel Mirage. Tonopah Junction night smells different on US 95 when the open pit mines go silent like diesel spilled on moonlight, and that odor followed my coupe as the fuel needle kissed red near Nevada's Tonopah Junction. I'm Kayla Coyote Days Monroe freight claims adjuster, rerouting damaged solar panels to Reno, hauling deadlines and too much caffeine motive. Simple crash for 4 hours before a dawn way station audit. A lone road sign flickered ahead where only sagebrush should be letters, peeling yet alive. Motel Mirage vacancy pool heated. setting an atmosphere locked in the moment I turned off the ignition. Wind-stilled cicadas muted, and a pale green shimmer leaked from every room like bioluminescent fog. Inciting incident unfurled the instant I stepped inside the office. Bell clanged, though no hand struck it. 1950s desk fan spun without cord, and a register wrote by itself, fountain pen scratching my name with the room already assigned. 310 second floor corner overlooking a drained pool tiled the color of oxidized copper. Rising tension coiled as the hallway fluorescence pulsed, heart slow, casting after images that lingered half a second longer than physics permits, each pulse accompanied by a third footstep echo padding behind my own. My phone compass whirled and the carpet smelled of wet pennies. Legend whispers bubbled up from a trucker forum I'd skimmed months earlier. Motel Mirage was condemned in 1968 after a chlorine gas leak killed an entire Little League team lodging in rooms 301-312. Survivors swore the pool glowed sea green as the boys' last breaths bubbled away, and every decade the vacancy sign reappears to lure new guests for team photos. Climax slammed me when I turned the knob of 310 door yawn to reveal the indoor pool itself transplanted inside the room. Impossible depth yawning where bed and dresser should stand, water glowing, emerald lane ropes floating like nooses. 11 child-sized shadows waded chest-deep, uniforms dripping. An unseen coach barked roll call, each name echoed by gurgling coughs. One slot on the roster remained blank. The roster sheet drifted atop the water toward me, pen hovering, waiting. Outcome sparked survival instinct. I hurled my metal clipboard into the pool. Green light flared, shadows shrieked underwater, building rattled as if hit by freight. Sprinting back hallway now extended infinite, every door labeled 310, each handle leaking pool water that chased my boots in tidal slaps. I dove from a second-floor balcony, sprained ankle on asphalt, and limped to the coupe. Engine fired first turn, though battery had died hours before, headlights revealing the motel collapsing inward like salt melting, ice green glow sucked into a pinpoint before vanishing. Twist stinger surfaced at sunrise outside Beatty. When I opened the trunk, my clipboard lay dry atop the solar crates, but the attendance roster was completed in looping child handwriting, my name filling the final slot, jersey number 66, game time listed 03:00 a.m. And a single wet baseball sat beside it, stitched with bootlace leather that pulsed faint emerald whenever I blinked. Story 3. The checkout that never prints at the Lantern Lodge. The desk printer kept spitting blank receipts until one jammed out with tomorrow's date, my signature, and a 3 a.m. charge from a room I hadn't booked. Setting an atmosphere, February 2025. A sandstorm corkscrewed across the Tularosa Basin, sodium street lamps fogged amber. The Lantern Lodge flickered under a blinking paper lantern sign left from its 1940s Route 70 heyday. I'm Omar Ledger Line Patel, CPA, auditing a pecan farm co-op in Las Cruces, white-knuckling a rental Corolla low on washer fluid, motive nothing but a Wi-Fi upload and 6 hours of shut-eye. Inciting incident, lobby doors whooshed open to stale jasmine. Desk bell rang itself thrice. Matrix printer cough whined, though its ribbon lay on the counter. The night clerk, a waxy mannequin of a man named Earl stitched on his lapel, handed me key card 217 before I spoke. Rising tension. Every hallway sconce glowed candle gold, but cast shadows that curled upward like smoke. Carpet padding yielded in 2 distinct compressions, my stride plus a softer lagging step. Room 217 reeked of melted beeswax. The digital clock blinked 2:59 a.m., though my phone said 9:47 p.m. Refrigerator hummed backmasked lullaby notes. Revealing clues and legends, Yelp oddities tagged this motel with tales of Lantern Earl, a desk clerk who lit real candles during 78 power cuts. He died in an electrical fire started by a miswired printer that kept churning blank receipts. Guests claim Earl still logs charges for those who blow out his candles. Climax bathroom mirror fogged from no steam and printer noise rattled through the HVAC vent. Matrix hammering my name, each line sparking the overhead bulb. Keycard slit glowed, locking me in. Bedside candle burst alight without flame source, wax running blood red. Earl's voice piped from the vent. "Need your final signature, sir." Printer spat a single sheet beneath the door. Tomorrow's date. 3:00 a.m. long distance to 666 217 amount $66, 60 already signed in my scrawl. Outcome: I ripped the sheet, stuffed it into the candle wax, hissed flames, sputtered and died. Hallway lights convulsed. Door unlocked itself with a dying beep. Sprinting to the lobby, I found Earl gone, counter-charred. Printer sat melting, ribbon ablaze but pages blank. Twist, stinger. At sunrise, the Corolla's passenger seat held a perfectly printed receipt, no scorch mark, showing my check out at 3:03 a.m. Clerk's initials EH, and a note candle kept account balanced. The rental's odometer logged 66 extra miles I never drove, and the tank smelled faintly of jasmine and burnt wax. Story 4. The midnight broadcast at Thunder Pass. Motor Court Flagstaff. Spur skies above northern Arizona can crackle electric even on clear nights, yet the motel radio that hijacked my map app felt like it was tuned straight to the hereafter. Hook 160 chars, my GPS froze outside a shuttered motor court, but the dashboard AM radio flicked on by itself, broadcasting the room number 217 and my name in a voice I hadn't heard since my father's funeral. Setting and atmosphere, March 2025, 11:42 p.m. Sleet-pecked Route 66. Like broken Morse, ponderosa pines swayed against a gibbous moon. Thunder Pass Motor Court squatted behind a pumice rock wall, its Thunderbird neon sputtering blue talons. Main character and motive: I'm Zoe Road Rail Vega, freelance civil engineer inspecting snow-damaged bridge trusses, driving a rental ram loaded with LiDAR gear, desperate for any bed before dawn site call. Inciting incident. Pulling into the lot, every cabin was dark except Unit 7. A bakelite radio on its porch glowed amber dials stuck between 1600-1700 kHz, hissing my surname in soft feedback. Rising tension. When I killed the ignition, the radio hiss migrated into my phone speaker. Spotify muted, GPS overlay replaced by the motel's floor plan, a blinking dot guiding me toward cabin 217. Though numbers jumped from 6 to 8 on the doors. Each footfall echoed with a second softer step like slippers. Revealing clues and legends, old highway patrol logs mention Thunder Pass's Room 217 Annex, an unnumbered cabin built for train engineers stranded by 1959 blizzards. One railman, Eduardo Vega, my grandfather, died there after calling family at exactly 3 a.m. to say the heater sounded like incoming freight. Locals swear the cabin resets to lure descendants back on storm nights. Climax. The phantom dot on my screen stopped at a door blank of numerals yet damp with condensation, spelling Vega. Inside space warped larger than the cabin's footprint. A railway office with cold cinderblock walls, telegraph tap-tapping by itself. The bakelite radio now roared, steam whistle loud, and a shadow wearing a railman's cap formed from coal dust, arm raised in distant salute. Heater pipes banged like boxcars, coupling temperature spiking to sauna. My phone displayed an incoming call ID, Thunder Pass 217, timer already at 00:59 seconds, though I hadn't answered. A familiar voice rasped, "The trestle's out, he just stopped the train." Outcome, I hurled the radio into the heater. Sparks geysered, pipes screamed, shadow dissolved into soot that blasted outward, extinguishing every bulb. Cabin walls shrank back to wood paneling. Door flung itself open, sleet surged, dousing the last embers. Twist Stinger Dawn cruise at my inspection site, found the bridge's sensor grid offline, recorded last data packet, time-stamped 0300 AM with my phone number as transmitter. My call log shows a completed 3-minute call to 0000 to a Manathaman 0000 during that blackout. In the ram's cup holder rests the bakelite tuner knob fused to a rail spike engraved "Stop the Train, Thunder Pass, 1959." Inciting incident, desk clerk name tag Maurice stitched in moss green, slid me brass key 217 before I even spoke. As I turned away, the ledger printer chunked alive, coughing blank paper until one page emerged reading call billed 3:00 AM. Room 217, 666-07000. Go to 0, timestamp tomorrow. My signature already dotted the line. Upstairs hallway hissed like a dial tone, no AC vents, just hot, breathy static. Each footstep produced a weaker echo, yet a softer third shuffle lagged one tread behind. Brass 217 plaque gleamed oily. Doorwood felt cool and damp, humming faintly. Inside, clawfoot bed wardrobe reeking of cedar and ozone, bakelite phone wired to the wall receiver, heavy as a brick. Clock radio blinked 2:43 AM, though it lacked a plug. When I set my laptop on the desk, its Bluetooth instantly paired to an unknown device, Maurice switchboard. Hurricane Rita folklore says Palmetto Bend served as an impromptu switchboard shelter in 2005. Legend claims operator Maurice Landry refused to evacuate routing stranded callers until storm surge drowned the line. Survivors swear he still patches emergency traffic through room 217 because it sits directly over the crawl space where the switchboard melted. 2:59 AM. Phone rang a single ping, then silence. Laptop camera light popped on by itself. OBS launched mic peeked into red. A cold front of Bayou air ballooned the curtains. Spanish moss slipped through the cracked window like gray tongues. Phone rang again, pulse dialing, not touch tone, and my FAA contact ID flashed on screen, even though she'd never call that number. Receiver lifted off its cradle unaided. Cord straightened, drawing a moss filament across the floor, spelling answer. Against every instinct, I held the handset dead air. Then my own voice earlier that night distorted some Motels, keep the light on. Followed by Maurice's gravel whisper. Line open, storm rising, patch you through. Lightning strobe outside, room plunged, turquoise wardrobe burst ajar, revealing antique switchboard guts wired with fresh wet vines. Jack cords plugged themselves, sparks skipping like fireflies. The printed ledger page on the desk ignited without flame figures changing, 0.00. 666 $60. Outcome, I slammed the phone, ripped it from the wall. Static shriek cut, wardrobe slammed shut, vines withered to dust. Hallway lights died. Emergency exit signs sputtered, Morse SOS. I sprinted downstairs, reception. Empty printer smoking, pages fluttering. Front doors burst outward into a freight of swamp air. Parking lot flooded ankle deep, though radar showed clear skies. My car unlocked itself, dashboard clock frozen, 3:01 AM. Engine roared. Radio bled reverse speech, then silence as I fishtailed onto the interstate. At dawn, I reached Pensacola rest area. Trunk smelled of brackish water. Inside lay the rotary handset cord, severed its dial, welded at 3, but when I lifted it, a crisp new receipt slid free checkout 3:33 a.m. Balance transferred. Comms restored. My phone's call log showed a completed 60-second call to my own number at 3:00 a.m. location tag. Crawl space switchboard Palmetto Bend in, and every voicemail thereafter plays faint bayou frogs beneath Maurice's last words. Lines clear for now.